Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today I will be big box store plant shopping at a local grocery store called Kroger's. I recently just got a DM from an Instagram follower by the name of Marlon, who happens to be a local plant foldie. And if you're new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. So if you like this type of content, please make sure you are hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button as well. But he sent me a picture of a Monstera Thai Constellation. So I will be Monstera Thai Constellation hunting at two Kroger locations that are in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at. So obviously this one is the Kroger out on Custer Road in Frisco, Texas. It's right next to the McKinney HEB location. It's another grocery store right across the street from it. But I often visit this particular grocery store, this particular Kroger, because they have some really nice plants. And I can't help but admire all of those beautiful indoor azaleas or Azalea simpsii. You can see that they have these care conditions, or that one's actually a chrysanthemum, but really like the look of this. So I ended up actually getting a couple of indoor azaleas. Two of them didn't do as well for me. One of them I actually had to throw away in the trash because I made the mistake of actually letting the soil dry out. So the problem is with me, I am more of an underwaterer when it comes to taking care of houseplants. With a busy schedule, I have a really demanding job, and then doing YouTube videos, at least 1 hour plant videos daily. Sometimes I neglect my plants in that sense, but I do want to take a little bit of time to show you guys these beautiful indoor azaleas. So this indoor azalea, for instance, this is a result of underwatering or not watering this particular azalea. They start to just have their leaves droop, and the buds just start to just die off. So if you intend to grow an indoor azalea, you definitely want to make sure that you do keep the temperatures in your home between 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, just because these plants don't do well out in heated conditions. And obviously you want to make sure that these indoor azaleas actually stay moist. They do not like to dry out. So that's one thing I learned. So eventually I will go ahead and purchase one of those. And you can't go to a Kroger or a grocery store without looking at Phalaenopsis orchids. Now, if you have been watching my videos daily, I often showcase Phalaenopsis orchids. These are the same plants that I will typically talk about. I do like Phalaenopsis orchids, and again, I just can't get over how gorgeous these indoor azaleas are. I just recently visited a Japanese maple nursery called Metro Maples, where they featured a bunch of Satsuki azaleas. So if you missed that video, I premiered it the other night, and I hope you guys can take a look at my Japanese maple content. Again, I like to showcase different types of plants, and right now I want to just take a little bit of time to show you guys these indoor azaleas, just because this particular Kroger has a lot of them, and these are nice and organized. Now, these ones in 6-inch planters are normally $19.99, but I believe they have a sale going on for $12.99. If I wasn't being responsible today, just because I have a feeling that I might find a Monstera Thai Constellation for a really good price, I probably would have just ended up buying another indoor azalea. But you know, whenever you go plant shopping, you have to realize that plants like this will always get restocked. Like, I know that if I want an indoor azalea, I can always go to a Kroger, and they usually will have them stocked up. Now, these are for $9.99, the ones in 4-inch starter planters, and you can see they come in varieties of colors. They have the white ones, the pink ones, and the purple ones. So I like the look of it. Azaleas just remind me of Japanese gardens, and as you get to know me, I love a lot of things that pertain to the Japanese culture, especially bonsai, Japanese maple. So I just recently introduced that content back into my channel. So hopefully you guys will be open and will check out that different type of content. I know the majority of you guys will come to my plant shopping videos to look for indoor tropical plants, but I am trying to pepper in just a little bit more diverse content. So hopefully you guys like that. And as you guys can see here, Kroger has some really good looking Phalaenopsis orchids. They come in different varieties of shapes and sizes and colors. I really like that a lot. I would say most big box stores have them, but in the grocery stores like Kroger, they are always going to be in the floral department. The same thing with houseplants or indoor tropicals. But you can see right over here, and I just recently found these plants. This one is a Plumosa fern. It's a very delicate looking fern. This one is for $9.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. All of the plants that you will typically see at a Kroger, at least the ones out in North Dallas, are sourced out from Mason Farms. I really like the pricing that Mason Farms has. Now that is a nursery based out in New Mexico. Like right here, we've got an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos for $9.99. This is a healthy looking one. This one actually has some really good variegation. And if you are new to houseplants, I am here to recommend that this plant would be one I would recommend to start out as a plant. And in here is one that I don't often see. This is a pickle plant. Actually, I've only seen a pickle plant offered at Kroger of all places, like grocery stores. This one is for $9.99. Look at that pickle plant. It has some fuzziness about it. It's a cute looking plant. And I want to go ahead and show you this right here. So this one is actually from the outdoor section. These are gardenias, and I love gardenias because they are so fragrant. And again, they kind of remind me of Japanese gardens. And I saw this Phalaenopsis orchid with this type of variegation at another Kroger a couple days ago. And this one is the one with the purple blooms. Not sure if this is a particular Phalaenopsis orchid. It does remind me of a Sansevieria or snake plant, just the edging variegation on the leaves. Those are really cool. And I haven't really seen this miniature type of Phalaenopsis orchid. And you can see that the aerial roots are really popping out. Really cool just because this has so many blooms. I like the look of it. I haven't added any Phalaenopsis orchids to my collection, and I'm surprised I haven't, just because, like I said again, I do plant shopping videos daily. I am literally coming off of work, scheduling a premiere and interacting with you guys, and then going out and filming content. So, I see Phalaenopsis orchids often, and I have not picked up one. Here is another easy to care for plant. This is an Epipremnum aurea marble queen pothos. This one is actually a really nice full one. This one is for $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. I will say this is a little bit pricey for a marble queen pothos. I think that you can get better deals. I have seen these as low as $12.99 and $16.99 at some local plant nurseries. But needless to say, pothos plants, Epipremnum aureum, are good beginner plants. I also will see lots of bromeliads. This one is by Costa Farms for $6.99. I do like the look of this particular bromeliad just because it has some darker foliage leaves, and I like darker foliage plants. If you've been following my videos, I talk about dark foliage plants and bromeliads. You will see one on my channel pretty much every single day, except last night where I just featured Japanese maples. One plant I do like to look at is this China doll plant for $19.99. That's actually a nice, full and lush plant. What I like about this plant is it's got a natural shine about it. It's got some delicate foliage. When you touch it, it's very thin, the leaves are. And what I discovered and learned about this plant is if you let it dry out, those leaves will start to droop and even crisp up. So I have to make sure that that plant stays moist. The soil needs to be a little bit more wet. And then over here is another different type of palm. This one is an Acra palm. It has a Costa Farms label, but it is not by Costa Farms. This is from Mason Farms. And this one, I don't know a lot about this particular palm. What I do know about palms are they do require a lot of bright indirect light. And I like the fact that Kroger's, some Kroger's, the ones that are Kroger Marketplace, the ones that are bigger than the typical Kroger, will feature some Costa Farms trending tropicals, and they're the least expensive. These are for $16.99. So if you go to like Walmart, They're $19.84, and even Lowe's and Home Depot will feature them for around that same price. But Kroger, for some reason, has them a little bit cheaper for $16.99. So anytime there is a trending tropical plant that I want to purchase, I will always go to Kroger specifically to look for that. And over here, we are looking at a beautiful peperomia marble. So this is a peperomia obtusifolia marble. It has some really good variegation. This is also in a 4.5-inch planter for $9.99. I will eventually buy one from Kroger just because the pricing is great and the variegation is amazing. So I still haven't seen any Monstera Thai Constellations at this location. I'm hoping I will find one. This one is a spathiphyllum or peace lily for $19.99. That's not a bad looking spathiphyllum as well. Really like the look of it. You can see that it's starting to bloom. And over here, we've got a nice looking spider plant. This is another plant that I would like to add to my collection just because when it starts to like shoot off little babies, they really look great. Now this one is for $9.99 as well. So, oftentimes we think of going to a local plant nursery or a big box store to find groceries, for plants. But if you actually slow down and look at some of your grocery stores, local grocery stores, especially in their floral area, you will find some really nice looking plants for indoors. Like this one right here is one of my favorite plants. This is a pilea or an aluminum plant. Love the metallic shine about it. I could definitely use another one. This one is for $9.99. Now with pilea plants, they do require a little bit more humidity. What will kill them is if you do not stay consistent on the watering, they don't like to really dry out. And with this particular pilea, or just pileas in general, in order to keep them bushy like this and compact, you need to pinch back and trim them down. You can actually take cuttings and put it in water and propagate them to make a more full plant. And then you know that I like crotons. So crotons are really not supposed to be grown indoors unless you give them a lot of bright light or grow them under a grow light. They're meant to really be outdoors, but I still love them. And guys, you got to look at this beautiful Hydra helix. The correct way to say it though is Hedera helix, which is an English ivy. But for some reason I used to call them Hydra helix, and it's kind of stuck with me. But again, you already know the story of Hydra helix. They're a challenging plant, but if you go to like a Kroger, you will see a lot of that, and you will see a bunch of these bromeliads. So here's another bromeliad for $6.99. I am hoping I find a Monstera Thai Constellation. I've found some rare plants or uncommon plants at Kroger. Like I've seen a Aglonema Red King. Recently, they released a bunch of Philodendron Marble Princess, which had higher variegation for a Philodendron Pink Princess. So hopefully I find a Monstera Thai Constellation tonight. It is about 9 o'clock. And so it's easier for me to go plant shopping at night. Just there's less guests. There's less people walking around here. And, it's one of those things that for me, when I go plant shopping, I try not to get people in film. I try not to make people feel uncomfortable, because if you're walking around with a camera, it's one of those things where you want to be respectful of people's space. That was actually a nice looking Epipremnum aureum Enjoy, and it's actually trailing, and it's only for $9.99. I would have bought that as well, but again, I'm trying to be a little bit more responsible with the amount of plants I'm bringing in. And if I find a Monstera Thai Constellation, I would probably buy it today. This is another Epipremnum aureum Enjoy. Now this is labeled as a Pearls and Jade pothos by Mason Farms, but this is actually an Enjoy, because Enjoy is more like, they've got higher contrast. And you can see here is another Hydra helix. This is another beautiful English ivy. The ones that I have two of them actually have been growing well for me for more than a month. No spider mites, and things are going well. So I'm excited about that. And you can see right over here, this is another Dracaena. Dracaenas are underrated plants. I talk about how underrated they are in every single plant shopping video. If you don't have a Dracaena, I would recommend it because they can tolerate lower light conditions. They don't have to be watered as much. They actually thrive in neglect, and they're not as pest prone. So I would get a Dracaena. Here is another trending tropicals, Costa Farms. This one is for $16.99, and this is a Raven ZZ. This is one of my favorite plants because look at that foliage. It's dark, it's gorgeous, and I love ZZ plants because they're easy to take care of. The only thing that will really kill them is if you overwater them. But if it's in a self-watering planter like this Alocasia Silver Dragon, it takes the guessing work of whether you need to go water a plant or not. They have wicks underneath and a water reservoir, and I really think that Costa Farms really did a great job, especially for those that are not sure when to water a plant. If it's in a self-watering planter, you just have to let the plants suck up the water by themselves, and it's easy to take care of. But I like this particular Kroger. They always have healthy looking plants. Actually, most grocery stores, especially Kroger, won't really sell any plants that are not healthy. What I've noticed is if the plant is starting to decline in health, they do reduce it. So I found some really good plant pricing. Now I'm trying to get this Aglaonema here. I saw this before. This is a different type of Aglaonema. I can't get it out, but that one is also for actually, is it $16.99, $14.99? That is another one that I would like to buy. Aglaonemas are my favorite plants. They're easy to grow, and I just love them. There's so many varieties as well. And you can see all of these foliage plants are starting at $9.99. And these ones right over here, like this one, I would have bought today. Can you look at how gorgeous that variegation is? This is highly variegated, so that is another one I would purchase. This one is only for $9.99, but again, I'm trying to do better about not picking up plants and just buying a ton. I've started to really get in the groove of organizing my space. I recently put together my plant room in my front office. So, I will be off this weekend. So I'll be working on my outdoor garden as well as getting my plants arranged. And right over here, we are looking at another trending tropical. One of my favorite plants, actually Epipremnum aureum. This is a global green pothos. I love the green on green variegation. Now, again, with this global green pothos, you need to give it a lot of bright indirect light for you to actually get that variegation. The variegation is really influenced by light. Some plants are influenced by the initial genetics, but some plants are actually influenced by the light. Now, this is really cool. Didn't realize I would find another type of Hoya. Now this is a Hoya Eskimo for $14.99. So Kroger, again, for all of my Hoya heads or for those that love Hoyas, Kroger has some Hoyas that will randomly pop up. The Eskimo one is gorgeous. Here is another plant that I would pick up and buy, but unfortunately I am still trying to be better at just not spending a lot of money on plants. I literally have been spending so much money, and it's one of those things where I can find this cool Hoya right here. This is a Hoya Carrii for $14.99. So if you're looking for Hoyas and you have a Kroger grocery store, especially a Kroger marketplace, I would go there because, again, Kroger has some really cool plant finds. Mason Farms releases some pretty cool stuff, but I've noticed that they come in sporadics and they're random. Like I remember finding like an Alocasia stingray, different types of Alocasia, and even different types of like trending tropicals by Costa Farms. I do find this particular Fittonia red one a nice looking one because of the black outlines on the leaves. And again, there's actually a lot of Hydra Helix. Now with English Ivy, if you are just finding my channel, English Ivy are very challenging to grow as indoor houseplants because they are so spider mite prone. So what I've done is I've not watered it as much because they don't like to be overwatered. I have it right next to a humidifier, and I spray the Hedera Helix or English Ivy with neem oil weekly, and it has done very well for me. Now here is a gorgeous looking red Marantha plant. So these are what you call prayer plants. They're similar to Calatheas, Stramanthes, and Nanthes, but they're a little bit more forgiving. That one is for $19.99, so that is a little bit pricey. But if you pan out over here, so many plants. I'm noticing that this particular Kroger did not have any Monstera Thai Constellations unless they've got it hidden in the back somewhere. But when you find one big box store releasing plants, just know that they are going to start releasing more plants. But unfortunately, the first location was a fail. So now I will be going to another Kroger. This one is another go-to Kroger for me. This one is in Plano, Texas, off of Coit and Campbell. right next to Highway 121. So let's see what plants that they may have. This is another Kroger that has some really high quality, healthy looking plants. I purchased plants here specifically. I featured this Kroger. So if I'm going to pick two locations, these are going to be the locations I'm going to find. And you can see they've got some outdoor plants ready to go, some ferns right here. So we're going to check it out. And whenever I go to this Kroger, they always have this little corner right here where they have a bunch of like bromeliads. Now, all of these bromeliads are sourced out from Costa Farms. You know, I haven't added a bromeliad to my collection. So plant foldies, if you're watching in the live premiere chats, have you guys added a bromeliad? And you already know if I'm going to go to a Kroger, and I hope you guys stay with me on this video because we might find a Monstera Thai Constellation, and I might get you guys some more insights on where to find them, especially if you are a local plant foldie out in the North Dallas, Fort Worth area. I mean, basically, if one Kroger gets restocked, you'll get another. But this particular one, again, has some gorgeous looking azalea simpsii. Now, this one is for $17.99. I have this particular color of azalea. I love that purple, but I haven't seen a lot of these peach color ones. So we're going to take a look at that. Now, more care tips about indoor azaleas is one, you need to make sure that the temperatures in your home or the environment you give them are going to be between 60 to 70 degrees. They prefer acidic soil. So if you can find a way to get that soil a little bit more acidic, it will make them more healthy and vigorous. I add coffee grounds to the top of the soil. That makes it a little bit more acidic. And then obviously making sure that you do not let that azalea, this indoor azalea, dry out completely, because if you do, the blooms, if they haven't bloomed yet, will just wilt, or it will start to shed its leaves. It's a finicky plant in that sense. So if you are more of an overwaterer or somebody that likes to water their plants, this might be a plant for you. And obviously, since it's a blooming plant, you want to make sure that you are watering them and also giving them a lot of bright indirect light, because plants that are in bloom require a lot more energy to produce the blooms. So that's just a couple of my care tips. And you can see right here, they've got these 4-inch starter ones for $9.99. I might end up just getting a smaller one like this for $9.99 versus the 6-inch one. Now, the two that I have remaining, I plan to possibly repot them in a larger planter with soil that's a little bit more, that can hold more moisture and retention. A lot of my plants, because I grow a lot of aroids, you know, tropical plants, they typically will be in more chunky mixes, but I want to make sure that when I repot my azaleas, my indoor azaleas, that I would give them a little bit more moisture. So, but gosh, these are so gorgeous, and I just kind of want to admire the blooms right here. They've got so many varieties of colors for these azalea simpsii or indoor azaleas. They've got a bunch of hydrangeas and kalanchoes as well, but this particular Kroger has some really good arrangements. And I'm going to pan over here. They always have a table full of Phalaenopsis orchids, and right at the very far corner, they've got a bunch of indoor plants. So maybe, just maybe, we'll discover some Monstera Thai Constellations. You'll have to stay tuned and stick around for this video to find out if I find Monstera Thai Constellations. And you can see right over here, they've got all of these flowering plants. So like this one right here is a pretty cool looking miniature rose. I want to see how much the price is for this, but you can see that it's got a unique color. I can't really find the price. I think this is for $18.99. I do like miniature roses, but with roses, they require full sun. So I don't know if you can really grow miniature roses long-term indoors, maybe under a grow light, or maybe if it's right next to something like bright, like a bright window that gets a lot of light Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and venture off and look at these plants. So what I was told is typically Kroger's around this area in the North Dallas area will get shipments of indoor plants and plants in general on Tuesdays. And Tuesdays is when I'm off from work. So I may need to start frequenting Kroger grocery stores to see if they have any new releases. But you can see right here, I want to pull this up because this looks like an Epipremnum aureum snow queen pothos, but this is more of a highly variegated marble queen pothos. This is for $19.99, and the reason why I would say this is a marble queen pothos as compared to a snow queen pothos has literally white variegation versus the yellowish cream variegation that a marble queen pothos has. Needless to say, that's a good looking marble queen pothos. And here is another gorgeous looking China doll plant. Now, my only plant tip for China doll plant is you definitely want to make sure you don't let the soil dry out completely. This is a very thirsty plant. It definitely will droop and probably crisp up if you let it go without water for long. I'm going to try to pull this Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf, but it is kind of stuck here and I don't really want to like mess up the arrangement. That one is for $19.99, and you can see that this Kroger looks like it was just recently stocked. I remember going to this Kroger and finding a bunch of hanging baskets for $12.99, which was a really good deal. And you can see right over here, this is another green Hydra helix, or the Hedera helix, English ivy. This is just a typical green one. We can go on and talk about English ivies. I will maybe later on in this video, but for now, I'm gonna show you guys these beautiful Enjoy pothos. This is another one for $9.99. It's being called a pearls and jade, but I'm telling you, this is not a pearls and jade pothos. This is an Enjoy because the variegation is more, there's a higher contrast in the variegation versus having speckling like a pearls and jade. And then over here, we've got another polka dot plant here. I still don't know how some people have been able to successfully grow a polka dot plant. Mine usually crisp up and burn just because I either overwater it or underwater it. So it's just a finicky plant for me. But, you know, that goes to show again, when you grow plants, some people just have a better grasp of the plant care or better environment. Now, this is a plant I actually love. This is a particular Dracaena called Dracaena Marley that I will always see at Kroger grocery stores. Now, this one I believe is for $13.99 in a 5-inch planter. I would recommend this Dracaena Marley because any Dracaena except a few are so easy to grow, like they thrive with neglect. And then I like looking at this fern. So I haven't added a fern yet to my collection. This one is a lemon button fern for $13.99. I like the shape of the leaves of this fern. Now, if I'm going to add a fern, I think I'm going to buy a bird's nest fern, a bird's nest hurricane fern. So we'll see. I haven't seen that at Kroger. That would be something I would consider because I think Kroger has some really good pricing for their plants. And, you know, for those that are looking for jade plants, this is just a typical jade plant right here. This one is for $13.99 in a 6-inch planter. I don't mind that price at all just because jade plants are very easy and they're easy to propagate. They just need bright light, full sun if possible, and they will do well. And then you can see that there are a bunch of Alocasia silver dragons coming out. And what I like is you can tell that this was recently restocked because the older trending tropicals by Costa Farms are in ceramic planters. Now these are the new ones where they're in self-watering planters, and I love that, especially for Alocasia. Sometimes Alocasia can be finicky in the watering. And then I want to show you this. This is another cool looking Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This one I believe is for $19.99 in a 6-inch starter planter. You can see that there are several nodes that you can propagate and cut from. And it looks like it was already cut because you can see there's 2 growth points coming out of this one, activated growth points. Now, Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, its natural habit is to want to climb up on something. So you definitely want to give this a stake, a moss pole, a plank or something so it can climb up and really give you guys some nice looking fenestration. So for those that don't know what the fenestrations mean, it means that the leaves will split and even get larger. Here is a Calathea ornata. I would like to add another Calathea ornata in my collection just because they kind of look similar to aglaonemas. Now, I grow all of my calathea in hydroponics or water, just because it's easier to maintain. Like, I don't have to worry about having to underwater or overwater a calathea. And then like that ambient humidity that the standing water gives the calathea gives it enough humidity where it won't get spider mites and it'll stay happy. At least in my care, I haven't had any issues transferring like calathea into just straight water. But I'm gonna pan out over here and just show you all of the plants that they have. It's really nice that I've been able to just go in here plant shopping because there's really not a lot of people here. Now, this particular Kroger actually has a lot of people shopping during the day, so I might just have to do plant shopping videos, especially at Kroger at night. That way it doesn't feel awkward to be filming these videos. And again, if you made it this far to this video, keep hanging on. You won't believe what I might possibly find, because again, that viewer Marlon, thank you so much for, letting me know that there's some Thai constellations coming out at Kroger. And that's the thing I love about our plant community, is that people will share their plant finds. So if you are not following me on Instagram, please make sure you follow me on Instagram at Growfold. Send me a direct message. I like to interact with people. And if you find any plant finds and you upload those videos or pictures of your plants you found, please tag me at Growfolds and use the hashtag plantfoldy, hashtag Growfold, so we can connect even on Instagram and have our little community there. And you can see there were a bunch of jade pothos, and then here is a Pachira aquatica, or a money tree plant. I am looking for a variegated version. These ones are for Live Trends. So Live Trends also sources out to Kroger, which is really cool. So we're gonna just pan over here. I haven't seen any Monstera Thai Constellations yet. I'm seeing a bunch of pothos, and pothos are a plant that I would recommend. So you can see they got some clearance plants here, but wait a minute. Oh my goodness. That is a highly variegated Monstera Thai Constellation. Oh my goodness. So thank you, Marlon, my plant foldy, who sent me a video or a picture of his Thai constellations. So these are only for $29.99, and that is not a bad price at all, because most Thai constellations, even at the local plant nurseries, these sizes for a 4.5-inch planter are typically $49.99. And then the 6-inch ones I found for $89.99, or even at H-E-B, they were still pretty pricey. So this is not a bad price at all. Not that I need to buy a Thai constellation, because I have one that's 6 feet tall, but I'm assuming that, there it goes, guys. Plant foldies, do you see this? Monstera Thai constellations that haven't been unloaded yet. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I would suggest going to Kroger's immediately and checking to see if there are Thai constellations, because I remember finding a bunch of philodendron pink marble princesses. And so these are released by the Tropic collection. So it looks like Kroger has like a release of some type of rare aroid in cycles. So they had an Aglaonema Red King, and a Philodendron Pink Princess, and now we have several boxes of Monstera Thai Constellations. Who would have thought on a Wednesday evening I would be able to walk into a grocery store called Kroger's and find some really nice looking Monstera Thai Constellations? And yeah, I'm gonna pull the trigger and buy one, just because I want more of a juvenile form. My Monstera Thai Constellation that I've been growing for about 4 years now is highly fenestrated. It's got huge leaves, but I would like to start over and grow one from this size and see what that looks like. And these are really nice looking ones. They're healthy. And if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you live in Plano, Texas, Frisco, Texas, or McKinney, I would suggest going to the Coit and Campbell Kroger right next to Highway 121, and you can check it out right there, because they haven't even unloaded a lot of these Thai constellations. Some of it must have gotten picked through, because I can see that there's some missing. I think this is awesome. I don't know which one I will pick. I might just get 2. I don't know if I'm being bad by purchasing 2, but I might even want to bring one to work and just let it grow there. You can't ever have enough Thai constellations. Like these are really nice looking ones for $30 or $29.99 US dollars. And look at how large these Thai constellations are. Look at this one. This one is really nice as well. And you can see that these are healthy. I would suggest getting healthy ones. Now, I will say, Kroger could potentially not sell through Thai constellations, and you might be able to get them as cheap as $7. They've reduced these plants to that low, but I don't know. Thai constellations are a high demand plant, even though the pricing is still slightly high. People will buy them. I think $29.99 US dollars is not a bad price at all. And you see they've got a bunch of them right over here. I don't know, like this one is a nice looking one as well. This one has some really nice sectoral variegation. This one has a nice little fenestration. I might take this one home. This one might go home with me. We'll see. And the thing about it is I will repot these in larger planters. Now, a couple of things I will tell you about Thai constellations, especially in their juvenile form, is you definitely do not want to overwater them. Their roots are for some reason susceptible to root rot more so than maybe the Monstera albo. But look at this one right over here. This one's already showing some new growth, and I don't really see any type of pest right here. So really cool to see that. I will be visiting more Kroger grocery stores to check it out. A couple of Kroger grocery stores I might want to check out would be like the Prosper, Texas Kroger grocery store. It's a marketplace. So I would say if you are in the Dallas area or anywhere in the country that has a Kroger marketplace, these are typically the larger Krogers that may have a bigger selection. But I am so excited to see this. Like, wow. And look at this one right here. Plant Foldies, if you are watching this live on my live premiere, please let me know what you think of these. Would you personally buy a Monstera Thai Constellation? Do you own Thai constellations? Please share my video to those that might be in the hunt for a Thai constellation, because again, who would think that you would find one at a Kroger? So I think I would possibly buy this one as well, because this one has some really good variegation. I am slightly concerned about this new leaf unfurling. It does have just that little brown spot of damage, but if the leaf hardens, that would be a beautiful half moon. So this one is probably the most highly variegated Monstera Thai Constellation. So we'll see. If I am going to buy one of these Monstera Thai Constellations, I am going to take some pest precautions, and spray it down immediately with some of my neem oil spray. And I'll talk about that if I do buy it. But this one right here, look at that variegation. And it's really interesting how Monstera Thai Constellations used to be really expensive. So I think these are the two that I've decided, and look at how gorgeous they look right next to all of those indoor azaleas. I love indoor azaleas. I didn't really think about growing flowering plants indoors, but that's one of those things where I kind of learned my lesson. I will have to redo and try it again, but so happy that I found a Monstera Thai Constellation at this Kroger. And this Kroger again is in Plano, Texas, right next to Highway 121. It is off of Coit Road. And yes, I'm gonna go ahead and scan this and see how much this cost. Yeah, so this is for $29.99 with taxes, $32. That is not bad at all. And I might actually do a giveaway, but I ended up purchasing the Thai constellations here. This is me leaving the Kroger. I'm going to be heading home. So again, to Marlon, the person, my Plant Foldy viewer subscriber that sent me a direct message on Instagram, thank you for giving me that information, because now these Monstera Thai Constellations are now home. I brought them inside my garage because I am going to spray them down with this homemade pest control spray I learned from Mari, who actually owns the rare plant shop called Cultivar in Houston, Texas. So basically you will take a spray bottle and put 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil. You can buy that off of Amazon. I use 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, 1 tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide, a little drop of dish soap, shake it up in the bottle, and make sure you put water, obviously, and you have an instant DIY plant shine, plant preventative, pest killer. And I do that. I spray all of my plants with this DIY spray, and it's so much cheaper than having to buy like insecticidal soap. So I'm just spraying down the tops of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, the actual top soil as well, because if there's any eggs, that should kill it, especially for fungus gnats and whatnot. But I didn't spray a lot on the new leaf that's unfurling because I don't want to damage it. So we're gonna do another spray on that, but the majority of this is gonna be just the top, bottom of the leaves. So I feel a little bit more confident that this Monstera will grow well. And you can see right over here, look at how shiny the leaves are. Now I took some 6.5-inch planters that I intend to plant these, repot these plants. I'm gonna give it about a week or two to acclimate into my home, and then I will repot them. But these are actually the planters that I bought from Target. These ones are for, I believe, I think they're like $4.99 or something like that. It's not a bad price at all. Actually, a lot of my plants are going to be planted in these planters. I love that minimalistic look. And you can see underneath, I went ahead and sprayed it as well. Now, my care tips for Monstera Thai Constellations. Number 1, do not overwater them. Number 2, their soil substrate has to be very chunky. So what I would recommend is getting some orchid bark, some cactus, succulent potting soil mix, tons of perlite, if you can get pumice as well, and even using leca balls, and then making that really chunky mix. You definitely don't want to overwater them, because I've killed a Monstera Thai Constellation because I didn't realize that they their roots rot easily. They are a little bit more tricky to propagate because they don't have like long internodes, so they're very close. I did manage to save and propagate 2 of my Monstera Thai Constellations, so I'll update that. But you know what, you can never have enough Thai Constellations, and I'm just so excited, so thankful that a local plant foldy in North Dallas was able to give me a tip and let me know that Monstera Thai Constellations are getting released. So I bet you in the next couple of days there's going to be more Monstera Thai Constellations. You already know that I'm going to be checking that out. And as always, thank you for watching my video. Please hit the like button for my video. Leave some comments, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, because I will be able to give you insights on what new plants are going to be released out in the big box stores. This is Richie at Grow Folds. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.